Okay, so I've got a knock-knock joke, but I need you to start me off.
Not.
Who's there? So this is the Tater Talk podcast. Welcome. I'm Tio.
I'm Michael.
Clay's not with us for this one because
I don't know.
We don't need all three people to talk, I guess.
What? It's new to me. I don't know how to talk on my own. As apparent by my solo episode.
Alright, so today we're talking about Infinity War because it came out on Blu-ray.
I thought we were talking about Peter Dinklage.
A while ago. Dude, we can if you want. But Infinity War came out on Blu-ray a little while ago, so like a lot of the discussion surrounding it has been renewed. But one of the things I've noticed is that not even like Infinity War can escape things like controversy.
Yeah. What do you mean?
You may be thinking, what sorts of controversy could the purple one have?
Well, right there, that's racism.
Right there.
That's pretty
there we
controversial.
Go. No, I just noticed that there's a lot of discussion going around about Thanos' like treatment of his daughters and the way it's portrayed.
His daughters.
Yeah.
Except he didn't get pregnant. So could they really be his daughters?
I mean, he adopted them and raised them. I mean, he didn't adopt them. He kidnapped them from their home worlds and then raised them. But the thing is, like, a lot of people are saying, like, oh, like Thanos is this big, psycho abusive monster, which isn't, that bad for a villain of a movie to be.
Yeah.
But then they go around and, portray it that, like, oh, he actually loves Gamora and all that. It's like a lot of people have issues with like the fact that his abusive behavior is being portrayed sympathetically, essentially. But here's the thing with me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he actually like cares about Gamora. He just
not in the way a parent would.
Yeah, he just thinks he does. He thinks that he loves her.
Yeah, and I guess that's enough.
Yeah. The fact that he would sacrifice her for the Soul Stone is just in itself representative of the fact that... Because one thing that I think a lot of people have kind of forgotten lately is that the villain of the movie is not supposed to be right.
Yeah.
Because, like, a lot of times people will take what a villain in a movie says and be like, what sort of message is this teaching our children?
The Joker.
He's not supposed to be right. Like, yeah, a lot of people like, the Joker ended up being right in the end. No, but he didn't.
No, he didn't.
Those people on those boats didn't blow each other up. They both chose not to be expressly responsible for each other's deaths.
Yeah.
So, like, and sure, the Joker tore Harvey Dent down.
Turned him into a villain, but, I mean...
But just because he tore one good man down doesn't mean that an entire society is evil at its core. That was the message of the movie.
Yeah.
Essentially. So
it was... I don't know. I don't think they... it was a good movie.
It was. And so, like, a lot of people... and plus a lot of people have been picking apart Thanos' philosophy that, like, eliminating half of all life in the universe will...
Yeah, with the gauntlet that can change reality.
Yeah.
We don't have enough resources. Just make more. Resources, not murder.
Yeah, make yeah, exactly. Make uninhabitable planets habitable.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just like forge entire new galaxies if you have to. Like the Gauntlet is capable of ridiculous things, and he
chooses to end half of all life.
Yeah, and the thing is that firstly he's wrong.
Which isn't what a sane person would do.
No, it isn't. And firstly, not only is he wrong about overpopulation, because that's not how overpopulation works. He's also wrong about, like, he has He may be this unending Titan thing, but he still has a limited mortal perspective in some regards. Because he can only think as far as, less people would be better, because half the people remaining means twice as many resources.
Yeah.
Like, his math, well, it makes sense to, someone who doesn't understand how these things work.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense in the long run. It's not like he's supposed to be wrong.
Every necessity that we have is renewable.
Yeah. And even the ones that aren't, we're finding replacements for.
Yeah. By science.
Yeah.
Science. Oh no, we're gonna run out of water. Except, we're not. Because we just recycle water. It's a non-renewable resource. Oxygen, we're gonna eat all the oxygen.
But
it's a... Plants. And with the food, there's non-renewable food, but most food is renewable, and you can...
Because most food has sex with the other food to make more of it.
Plants. Animals.
That's basically it.
Well, I mean, even if you didn't have animals, you'd still have plants, unless just the fucking planet blew up. Or the ozone layer just...
Okay, now that one is a bit of an issue.
Yeah, it is a bit of an issue, but I've read some stuff on it, and apparently it's rebuilding itself.
Okay, so we just gotta stop
being a bunch of fucking assholes.
Yeah, we just gotta stop dealing damage to it so it can recover. Which, easier said than done at this point.
Yeah. I mean, everybody stop driving your cars to work. Oh, shit.
Everybody stop using aerosol cans.
Buy these more expensive cars.
Kill all the cows.
Mm-hmm.
All of them.
All of them. All they do is fart.
That's one thing I don't understand. Stop eating cows. Their farts damage the ozone. Shouldn't we eat more of them then?
I think we should have steak every night.
I want to eat more cows. Steak should be so cheap. It's like this is a service to the ozone layers, making steak cheap.
Yeah. Get on that, grocery stores.
Yeah.
Make your steak cheap. I'm hungry.
Make steak great again. So yeah, Thanos. A lot of people are kind of, but that's another thing. The villain of the movie is not supposed to be right.
Yeah.
And sure, they did their best to make him a sympathetic character, which I think they did.
They tried to make him I wouldn't say relatable, because how do you relate to your entire species dying?
Yeah.
Without your entire species dying. But more sympathetic.
Yeah.
Just, I see what you're facing, and if I was in that situation, I'd also go insane.
But the thing is, he was crazy before.
Yeah?
Because when his planet was faced with overpopulation, his suggestion first was, let's kill half of everyone.
Right.
Dispassionate and unbiased, rich and poor alike, but just kill half of everyone, and that'll solve the problem. But
just roll the lottery, like the Hunger Games.
Exactly. And now, rightfully, the government of his planet said, no, you freaking psycho.
We don't kill people.
And,
I mean, unless... We don't talk about that.
Yeah. Now, I doubt this is because of what Thanos thought it was, but his planet ended up dying anyway.
Yeah.
Now, it's probably something else, but he took it as, this is a sign, I was right, I'm gonna go kill everybody. Half of everybody.
Yeah, because I want to involve myself in other people's business.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like,
he's saying, what does that sound like?
I want to keep... Yeah, he's like, I want
America.
I don't want the rest of the universe to suffer what my planet suffered, so I'm going to kill a lot of people. More people than anyone else has ever been responsible for killing before.
Yeah.
If Thanos actually existed, he would have a greater, significantly greater death toll on his head than, Hitler, Stalin, Genghis Khan, any of the conquerors of history, essentially combined.
I mean, yeah, if he could actually, make it happen.
Yeah.
If he had all the abilities he has, and all the resources he has, yeah, we'd be fucked.
Yeah.
Because we got nukes. Well, I have spaceships.
And every single laser blast from one of these spaceships is equivalent to one of your nukes.
Exactly.
Without actually using any nuclear energy.
And just pew, you're dead.
So yeah, it's like a lot of people who are upset with the Star Wars movies currently. Yes, I'm going here because Star Wars fans are a bunch of whiny poopy babies who need their diapers changed. But but like in The Last Jedi, when Kylo Ren is saying like, you know, let the past die, kill it if you have to. Mm-hmm. People are like, that's what Rian Johnson was saying about Star Wars in general. That's why he made such a stupid movie.
Who's Rian Johnson?
The director.
Oh.
And so all I can say is like, Kylo Ren is still one of the villains of that movie.
Yeah.
He did. So he helped Rey in one scene. That doesn't mean he's a good guy.
Okay, so let's just take a look at all the villains. If they suggest let's kill people, they're probably bad and wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like back in Winter Soldier when Sam asked, how do we tell the good guys from the bad guys? And Cap says, if they're shooting at you, they're bad.
Exactly. But you know, you have to think about, like, in a war situation, that's not necessarily the truth.
Oh, you know though, like if they're shooting at you, they're the enemy.
They're the enemy to you. Yeah, they're your bad guys, but like you go to their perspective, you're their bad guys. Yeah. In their opposition, I wouldn't say all bad guys don't realize they're bad, because some of them do. And some of them are like, I'm bad. I'm
bad. But and that actually goes, back to Thanos pretty cleanly, actually, because he doesn't realize that what he's doing is stupid and insane.
Because he's stupid and insane.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, he's smart and insane.
Well, yeah,
he's pretty smart, but
he's a smart guy who came to a dumb conclusion,
and that's always very dangerous.
Yes, and that actually I think ties in pretty well, though, to Tony Stark as a character, too.
Yeah.
Because he's a smart guy who's made a lot of dumb decisions.
Yeah.
Because one of the things about Tony is that had he never encountered or even known about Thanos, he probably would have gone down a similar road. Because Tony is so obsessed with protecting the Earth that...
He's hyper-logical.
Exactly, and it's what created Ultron.
Uh-huh.
And it... he's... And basically everything since Ultron has been nothing but problems for the Avengers.
I mean, the arc reactor, that was a good invention, but that in turn caused big villain guy to be like, arc reactor. I have arc reactor now. Now I'm big bad guy who's going to destroy everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most heroes create their villains. Like, the villains don't just, poof, I'm a villain. They're like, most of the time,
and the ones that are
because of the heroes.
Yeah, and the ones that are just poof, I'm a villain, are the ones we forget about. Like, do you remember anything about Malekith from the Dark World?
No, because I think I passed over the Dark World. I don't even think I watched the Dark World.
Oh, so you have no idea where the Reality Stone even comes from. Because that's where the Reality Stone was covered, and where they first said the words Infinity Stone.
Oh.
Like, the concept of Infinity Stones as a collection of items was introduced in Thor: The Dark World.
So it wasn't in Guardians. No,
it wasn't in Guardians. You see, and that's another reason to me that Thor: The Dark World isn't great, because it's a mediocre, boring movie that is necessary.
I didn't even realize it existed.
You didn't know there was a movie between the first Thor and Ragnarok?
No, I didn't. Actually, no, I did. I knew, but I thought I saw it.
Yeah.
And it was like Dark World. I read some of the plot. I was like, when did they go there and meet those people? Who is this person? I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I was like, I missed so much.
Yeah, one of the things that's so terrible about that movie is that it's boring, but it's so necessary, not just to Thor as a character, but to the Marvel Universe on the whole.
Yeah.
Because it's where they get the Reality Stone and give it to the Collector. It's where Loki faked his death for the second time and used that to usurp Odin's throne on Asgard. Mm-hmm. You've seen Ragnarok, right? You've finally seen it?
Oh, kind of. I was watching it and I fell asleep.
damn it, dude.
And then I woke up at the end, which is like the worst time to wake up.
Yeah.
I was really tired. I've been really tired.
That's what actually kind of happened last night. With my parents, I was watching Infinity War with my parents, and my dad's never seen it. So he did pretty well. He stayed awake right until about Stark, Strange, and Spider-Man were making it to Titan for the first time, and then his head started to nod.
Yeah.
So he woke up every once in a while and every time he was awake, he saw that as his opportunity to ask a question. Like,
what the fuck's happening?
Well, no. Firstly, he wouldn't have phrased it that way.
Yeah, I know.
Secondly, like, he woke up once, he's like, is that the Black Panther? And I'm like, yeah, it's Black Panther. He's like, okay. He's like, and it's like, was this movie, like, important to this one? And I said, nah, it's really just homework on his character. If you care, for people who care about him, he's like, okay. Back to sleep with him. He woke up for the very end when Thanos, won.
When Thanos did the thing.
So basically, my dad was awake for
he succeeded and shit.
Yeah. So my dad was awake for all the important parts of the movie, and he was asleep for
He just skipped the filler.
Basically, he skipped the fight scenes and a lot of the really good jokes and the filler. He was awake for the important bits.
He skipped the fun.
Yeah. Like, he didn't see Strange's one-on-one with Thanos. I don't think he saw Stark's one-on-one with Thanos.
I wasn't expecting that good of a fight.
That was fantastic.
Yeah.
For both Strange and Stark going one-on-one with Thanos.
I was honestly more impressed with Stark just because...
Yeah, because of everything.
He don't have superpowers!
Yeah, everything he puts into it is crazy. Plus, of all characters, he's the one who kind of needed that moment, because he's Iron Man. He's the one who started all this.
Yeah. Go on, Gundam boy.
Yeah. And, like, both he and Thanos have been aware of each other for about 6 years now. So they, like, that final showdown, hopefully not final.
Wait, but how is... He's been aware of Thanos for 6 years?
Yeah, the aliens and all that. Like, he didn't really know who specifically was behind it, but he knew someone was behind it.
Because he was like, Loki didn't do that.
Yeah.
Loki didn't make all those aliens come.
Yeah.
Somebody made Loki make aliens.
Yeah, basically, he used his brain and came to the conclusion Loki couldn't have done this by himself. Someone was, like, supplying him. So, and that's why he went crazy with, like, making Ultron and trying to create a suit of armor for the entire world through that. That's why he backed the Sokovia Accords so vehemently, because he's like, we need to be held responsible so that the world can be safer and we can coordinate against something like, what happened in New York. Like, basically, Tony Stark's motivations for the entirety of everything after the first Avengers movie comes from the fact that he knows someone is still out there who wants Earth.
So, who do you think was in the right during the Civil War? I found that's a difficult question.
It is a difficult question to answer. Now, in the comic books, I typically back Captain America wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Though my opinion on that has also kind of started to shift. When it comes to the comics, I agree with Tony Stark's side, but I did not agree with his methods. When it comes to the movies, I was surprised by this, but when it comes to the movies, I was actually very much on Tony's side as far as the logic of the Accords.
Yeah.
Because, sure, like, who wants to work for the government, right? But still, in this particular instance, for these particular versions of these characters, it would have been more beneficial. And the only reason I think Captain America didn't back it is A, his experience with the corruption of power in the Winter Soldier, and B, the fact that he wanted to protect Bucky.
Yeah.
So, Captain America was against the Accords for paranoid and selfish reasons, whereas Tony was looking at it a little more realistically. Sure, he also came from a place of paranoia, but it wasn't paranoia against the government or his fellow heroes. It was paranoia against what's out in the universe.
Yeah. Because, like, you look at all these people on Earth, and you're like, wow, these people are powerful, but there could be more powerful, like, beings outside of this world. I mean, we've seen the New York incident. We see these giant fucking whale aliens coming out of the sky.
Whalians, if you will.
Whalians. Like, you gotta imagine there has to be something controlling those, and you have to. I assume you have to be pretty powerful to control giant flying whales.
Yeah. Yeah.
Along with an army of sentient beings that can fly fucking sky segways. Or jet skis. They look more like jet skis.
Yeah. Oh, and did you see the way they
jet
fly
ski.
those things too? It's like hooked up to their neck, and they have to lean to. So that's gotta be uncomfortable. But yeah,
will you willingly stick a cord in the back of your neck and fly a jet ski?
Yeah. So yeah, it's interesting to see like how even just because it's a different version of the story, I've sided with a different character in the conflict. But yeah, I think Tony Stark was very much in the right with that particular event.
I found his approach to be completely logical. While Captain America, I was looking, I was just like, you could have gone about that a little better.
Yeah.
Just I understand his motivations. It's
honestly, had Captain America signed to the Accords, it would have been so much easier to find and protect Bucky.
Yeah.
Because he could have vouched for him.
Right.
Had they just operated within the law, then they probably would have resolved that conflict way easier. It might have taken longer, but it would have been easier.
I know Marvel Ultimate Alliance too. It deals with the Civil War. The whole Registration Act is that what they were going for?
Yeah, they were.
They just wanted people to register, right?
Yeah, the Sokovia Accords in the movies, the reason they had to be different is because secret identities aren't nearly as big a deal in the movies as they used to be in the
I'm Iron Man!
Yeah. Yeah, so like it doesn't matter as much, except in maybe the case of Spider-Man. Yeah. But I got the impression that if he wanted to maintain his secret identity and still work for the government, they would have allowed him to do that for,
right.
These movies.
Because I doubt the government would be like, okay, we know who you are, we're going to tell everyone who you are, so bad guys can kill your family.
Yeah.
Because we're going to put you in danger. No, that doesn't even make sense.
Now, for the comics, the Registration Act was... there was a collection of things that led up to it. Okay. Firstly, there was the Mutant Registration Act that was proposed to begin with for mutants specifically. Which that by itself kind of came from a place of racism and fear.
That looking at that, I'm saying they just want to figure out who's who so they can segregate them.
Basically, but at the same time, though, there is legitimate concern with mutants, considering the fact that any one of them could be carrying an atomic bomb in their cells.
Right. The one from Deadpool, I can't remember. Whatever.
Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
Yeah. I still haven't seen Deadpool 2.
Neither have
I want to. Because it looks good.
Yeah.
I haven't had the chance. It's out on DVD.
It is. I'm actually planning to rent it pretty soon.
I'm probably going to buy it.
So, yeah, and then moving forward from that, there were more things like the Hulk, who had been stationed in Las Vegas for a while as Joe Fixit. It was one of his gray forms.
Wait, Joe Fixit. Oh, that's right, because the Hulk is an entity in itself.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, but Bruce Banner became Joe Fixit? I don't understand.
Yeah, Joe Fixit is one of the Hulk personalities.
Yeah.
So, I believe he was in Vegas for a while as Joe Fixit, but somehow the Monster Hulk kind of worked its way back out, and he killed a lot of people.
Yeah. Which
is actually not typical of a Hulk rampage. This is the worst rampage the Hulk went on, like, on record. At that point. So Reed Richards and Tony Stark, as like they kind of gathered the leaders of the Marvel Universe together. So that means the two of them, the Black Panther, Black Bolt, Namor, Stephen Strange, and Charles Xavier.
That is a lot of really strong people.
Yes, and they're the leaders of the Marvel Universe, and they all represent something specific.
Yeah. So
the seven of them got together and decided that, like... Actually, they got together after the Kree-Skrull War, which is a very old storyline.
Yeah.
Like, Tony Stark was like, I wanted everybody to meet here. They went to Wakanda, and he's like, I want everybody to meet here so that we could basically form a secret society, and essentially dictate from the shadows the direction the superhero community takes, so that we can ensure that the world can still trust us, and that they won't turn against us, and we can keep everything in line.
Mm-hmm.
And almost everyone agreed except for Black Panther. So Black Panther was like, y'all just came up in here and decided without anybody else's guidance that you know what's best for everyone, and I'm not going to be a part of this.
Right.
So he told them, like, get out of my house. So they left, and then that Hulk thing happened, and everyone who was still a part of this little group gathered together, and Tony and Reed were like, we want to shoot the Hulk into space, and Namor was like,
Space Hulk.
Yeah, and Namor was like, no, that's just going to make him mad, and he's going to come back even worse somehow. You know it. He's the Hulk.
He does that.
Yeah, and they were like, we got to do this. So Namor was like...
And that's the whole Planet Hulk thing, right?
It is, yes. Namor was like, I don't want to be a part of this. So he took off, and they shot Hulk into space. And then...
How did they get a hold of Hulk to be like, yo...
They tricked him.
They tricked him.
They
put like a sandwich in like a space pod and go...
sandwich. They manufactured an incident on one of Tony Stark's satellites and told Hulk that he was like the only one who could go up and solve it or something. I haven't read this part of the storyline yet, so I am guessing at some things. But like basically they manufactured an incident on a Stark satellite, and Hulk went up to deal with it, and they launched that thing into space.
I missed.
They were like they even sent him a video message with their faces on it to let them know it was them that sent him out there. And they're like, we found a planet, it has life, not intelligent life.
You can beat them up.
Exactly. You can hunt, you can survive, you can live there and be happy. Goodbye. And
Hulk was like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, he went off course.
Oh.
Ended up in a wormhole.
Oh.
Went to Sakaar. Was
Where's
enslaved. That's the planet that he's on in Planet Hulk.
Oh, it's not like. Is there any main antagonist that I would know of?
Do you know who the Red King is?
I don't.
Okay. Or Red Emperor, I can't remember what he's called. Anyway, so Hulk ends up there, gets enslaved by the people, and turned into a gladiator.
Okay.
Leads a revolution.
This
is Planet Hulk.
Does that tie into Ragnarok?
Yeah, Ragnarok was supposed to be a semi-adaptation.
Okay.
But yeah, what Hulk does here is he ends up on the planet, he turns into a gladiator, leads a revolution, conquers the planet, and then the ship he came to the planet on blew up. And it was an accident, it wasn't supposed to blow up. But he was convinced that the Avengers rigged it to explode, because he thought they were going to try and kill him. So he's like, and that explosion killed his wife. Like his pregnant wife on that planet. Yeah, he married an alien woman. It killed his wife on that planet. I think she was pregnant at the time. So he was like...
There must have been some big women.
she was only slightly smaller than him, so yeah.
Okay.
So he basically said, like, I'm rounding up my entire planet's military, going back to Earth, and ripping the Avengers to shreds. So he came back to Earth. That was World War Hulk, which was immediately after Civil War.
And I was like, told you.
I kind of got off track there. So the registration
Nobody listens to me. So what do I even do?
The Registration Act. So yeah, the Hulk was a factor. The Kree-Skrull War was a factor. And then, on top of all that, there was the Stanford incident. You know about that, right?
I might know of it, but I don't know. I can't connect the name.
The New Warriors, one of the members of which was Namorita, the, I believe, cousin or niece of Namor.
New Warriors. Did that have like Speedball and...
Yep, Speedball and Nova and...
Penance?
Well, Penance was Speedball.
Yeah.
Microbe and all of them. So they...
Penance is creepy as shit.
Yeah. But
like pain fuels me.
The whole thing with that is they had a reality show. And,
that's all touched on in
yeah.
Avengers, or not Avengers.
Plus, I think there was an attack on New York. Two. Yes, it's two.
Yeah.
Ultimate Alliance 2.
Yeah, and they had the incident with, what was his name, Napalm or...
Nitro. Who, also notably, is responsible for the death of the original Captain Marvel.
Really?
Yes, because he's the one who released the gas that gave Captain Marvel cancer.
Wow. Sad.
Yes. So, Nitro is a low-level villain responsible for a lot of high-level things.
Yeah.
So he exploded, killed 600 people, including like 60 children.
Uh-huh.
Namorita died. Most of the New Warriors died. Speedball was the only survivor, and he became Penance.
Yeah. Which you can play as.
Yeah.
In Ultimate Alliance too. So it's a weird character to play.
Yeah. So basically, the whole Registration Act that came about, the Registration Act got fast tracked after that because they were like, superheroes are dangerous. They need to be kept in check. So Tony Stark was like, I warned everybody for years this was going to happen, so I'm in support of it. So he revealed his identity as Iron Man for like the third time. Convinced his employee...
I am Iron Man, we know.
Convinced his employee, Peter Parker, to expose himself as Spider-Man in front of the press.
How did that go? Like, for Spider-Man?
He regretted it.
I bet.
Because...
Now I got all these people going after my Aunt May.
Well, the thing is, people who supported Captain America's side ended up going after him. Like, there was a dude with a gun who was like, you're destroying the superhero community. Spider-Man like webbed up the gun as the dude fired it and it blew up his hand.
Wow.
Yeah, and this was done publicly, like in front of Mary Jane. Like he and Mary Jane were just trying to go somewhere, I think. And it got crazy. A mob of people like mobbed up on the Human Torch, and they were just ordinary citizens, so he wasn't going to attack them. And like they put him in a coma for a couple weeks. The Human Torch was in a coma because public opinion of superheroes was that low.
Yeah.
So after he woke up, he and his sister Sue joined Captain America's side while Reed continued to support Tony, and the Thing didn't want anything to do with it, so he went to France.
As I imagine the Thing would do.
He went and hid in France.
Fuck this.
And on top of that, France hadn't put into action its own Registration Act yet, because America doing it prompted the whole world to consider it.
Mm-hmm.
But France hadn't done it yet. So there's this team of French superheroes who were like, "You're the Thing. You're You're like the big American superhero. Can you help us?" So he helps them beat the Mole Man who went to France. And the Thing was basically like, "Dude, come on." So, in France, the Thing was celebrated as this big-time American superhero who went and helped this little rinky-dink French team and helped them gain notoriety. And he's like, "I'm gonna like it here."
Yeah.
So it was just interesting. So the whole Registration Act really ripped up the superhero community. And the way Tony Stark and Reed Richards went about it was just they imprisoned people without trial. And it was just crazy. So Spider-Man disagreed with that, and that's why he defected and joined Captain America.
Yeah.
After the Punisher saved his life.
Wow.
And and then the Punisher got kicked out of Cap's team because he murdered a couple supervillains who wanted to help them in front of them.
Oh.
So.
Sounds like Punisher.
Yeah. The supervillains came to help, and Cap was like, "I guess if you guys are willing to turn your lives around, then sure." And right after Cap says that, bang, 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 and bang for good measure. And everybody just looks at the Punisher who's holding his smoking guns, and he's like, they were criminals. Cap lost it, beat the shit out of the Punisher, and kicked him out.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was definitely interesting. But yeah, so we all know how it all ended. Cap surrendered because continuing to fight was causing more damage than it was helping. Yeah. And they killed him. Crossbones shot him with a sniper shot on the steps of the courthouse when he was on trial. And then Sharon Carter, who was brainwashed, shot him again. And she was released from her brainwashing only to, hold Cap in her arms and realize what she'd done.
Yeah.
So she was brainwashed by Red Skull to do that. And then a whole bunch of shenanigans with Spider-Man to get his secret identity secret again, but it also resulted in no more marriage to Mary Jane.
Right.
Also, Aunt May was fine because she also got shot by a sniper who was hired by Kingpin. A lot of snipers in the Civil War.
I mean, you gotta be a sniper. You can't work with an assault rifle. You're gonna get your ass kicked. You gotta be really far away.
Yeah, it's like Spider-Man once said, like, you don't bring guns to a super person fight unless you're the Punisher, because, you know, who's going to tell the Punisher he can't do that? But yeah, so it was definitely interesting. The only superhero in the entirety of the Civil War who dodged having his identity exposed was Daredevil. That's because he went into hiding and Iron Fist took over Daredevil responsibilities for, like, during the Civil War.
Oh, okay.
At least I think that's how it went. Either that or he was dead at the time. And then when he
never know.
And then when he came back, he took over being Daredevil again. I don't remember.
Being dead's just going on vacation in the Marvel universe.
It really is. Unless you're, you know, Uncle Ben.
Oh.
Or Gwen Stacy.
Shit.
Really anyone important to Spider-Man as a person.
Yeah.
Unless you're Aunt May, then you just get to come back whenever you want.
Family.
Oh, how was heaven this week, Aunt May? It was lovely. Nightcrawler gave me a bunt cake. Nightcrawler's not dead anymore, though. So.
Oh, I was gonna say Nightcrawler's dead?
No, he hasn't been dead for a couple of years. You know how he came back to life?
Teleported out of heaven.
He teleported out of heaven.
Oh my god, are you serious?
Yup. Oh my gosh, you were like guessing as a joke.
I was.
I thought you knew. No, he teleported out. He was like, "Yo, God, this is nice and all,
Peace.
but my buddies need me. Peace out." So basically, Nightcrawler's got a free pass in and out of heaven whenever he feels like. Which, if any
Can
character,
he teleport into heaven?
I don't think he can. But all he needs to do to go back is die. So yeah.
So essentially, yes. Yes, he can.
Yeah. So yeah.
Stab. Sup, guy?
Nightcrawler's got a free pass in and out
Can't
of
get a
heaven.
snack.
And you know what? If any character deserves that, it is him.
Why do you say that?
Because he's just a good dude.
Yeah.
He's such a good dude.
Is Nightcrawler not a teenager anymore? I can never keep up with
I don't think he ever was a teenager in the comics.
What?
Like, he was... Yeah, that's all TV shows and
It's
movies.
just all TV shows? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I remember playing a couple games too that where he was a teenager.
This changed from an Infinity War podcast to a comic book podcast.
Our conversations always evolve like that. I've noticed, like when
we should just talk about comic book stuff.
Yeah.
I like comic books. I could talk endlessly about comic books.
And I have tons of questions.
Dude.
All the time.
You know, we could make entire podcasts out of you just asking me a question and I give you the answer.
Yeah.
For 40 minutes.
And it'll evolve into more.
Yeah.
Like it'll branch. It's like a tree. We make trees.
Like Yggdrasil. The tree.
Yeah.
The world tree.
Yeah. Thor.
Thor.
Except because he's Norse.
Yeah.
It didn't originate in that though.
Yeah.
Alright,
I think that's all we got. Yeah, so I did kind of touch on what I wanted to touch on, the whole Infinity War pseudo-controversies that have popped up.
we didn't even talk about Peter Dinklage.
Well, you can't say that now.
That's a good point. How do we end this?
That's the end of the show. So goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. That's the end of the show. So go away, go home, beat it, get out of here. I don't want to look at you anymore. Seriously, turn it off. Go away.
Bye.
I think they're still here.
Fuck.
Go away. Hey.
They can't still be here if I turn the video off.
Oh, do it!